Olive oil makes soap. It makes different types of soaps, from normal soap to sensitive skin soap. But olive oil also makes other products like lip balm, deodorant, massage candle, and so on. And today, this is exactly what I want to talk about, that you don't need more ingredients. What you need is better understanding of your products. And then you find out that you can use very few products. You can tweak the ratios to create a complete, unique product. And today I'm showing you, you can make 6 different skincare products with only 7 ingredients. But let's make a very important distinction here. Olive oil behaves differently in soap than it behaves in other skincare products like hand creams or lip balms or deodorants. Why is that? In soap, you have what is called the saponification reaction. So oils do not remain in their original form. They are converted into soap, basically. So the typical saponification reaction is oils plus lye equals soap and glycerin. When you add olive oil in soap, olive oil contains oleic acid. Oleic acid will react with sodium hydroxide and it will convert to sodium oleate. The same thing with coconut oil. Coconut oil contains lauric acid. When it reacts with lye, it converts to sodium laurate. And that's exactly why your sink does not clog when you use handmade soap, because oils are not in their original form. They are converted into soap, and soap is water soluble. So it's important to understand here that olive oil is completely different in a soap environment where it's actually converted into sodium oleate, and it's different in a deodorant or a lip balm where it's actually in its original form, because there is no sodium hydroxide, there is no lye to convert it into something else. So let's look at our 7 ingredients. We have olive oil, coconut oil, shea butter, castor oil, we have cornstarch, you can also use arrowroot powder, we have baking soda or magnesium hydroxide, and last we have beeswax. Let's look at each of the ingredients. Olive oil is high in oleic acid and it provides this amazing conditioning lather to your soap. So if you want a soap that is suitable for sensitive skin, you want to make a soap with a high concentration of olive oil. This is exactly, for example, the most famous soaps out there, like the Aleppo soap, the Marseille soap, the Castille soap. They all have one thing in common, and this is that they have a very high concentration of olive oil. So soaps like that have a very high concentration of olive oil, they have 2 distinct characteristics. One of them is that they provide an amazing, gentle conditioning lather that is also very long lasting. And 2 is that they need minimum 6 months of curing. You heard me right. 6 months of curing. It really pays off. Patience is very rewarding here, because olive oil is high in oleic acid. Oleic acid is a very long fatty acid chain, so it takes a lot of time to be converted into actual soap. And this is exactly why you need to cure it for minimum 6 months. But the result is amazing. If you don't cure it for 6 months and you use it before, it will turn very slimy and soft, and you don't want that. Now the second ingredient is coconut oil, and coconut oil is high in lauric acid. It's amazing because coconut oil provides bubbles. Not the coconut oil itself. Coconut oil itself is just an oil. It doesn't bubble at all. But once it converts into soap using sodium hydroxide, it creates these big fluffy bubbles. So it's perfect to adding bubbles to your soap. Then we have shea butter. Shea butter is basically very creamy. It's high in stearic acid. It's perfect both for normal skin types and for sensitive skin types. And it's used also in formulations like lip balm and deodorants where it adds structure, and it's also working as an occlusive there. Basically, occlusive means that it traps moisture into the skin. So when it's in original form, not converted into soap, it basically traps moisture into the skin and prevents it from evaporating, and that's why it's a very good ingredient for skincare. Then we have castor oil. Castor oil is high in ricinoleic acid, and what castor oil does is that it adds a lot of thickness and richness to your lather. It works both in for normal skin types and sensitive skin types. In other skincare apart from soap, it adds a lot of glide and moisturizing to your product. Then we have cornstarch or arrowroot powder, which is used for deodorants, and the reason it's used is because cornstarch has the ability to absorb the moisture from your sweat, and this is one of the key functions of a great deodorant. Ingredient number 6 is baking soda or magnesium hydroxide. Baking soda, what it does is that it increases the pH of your skin so that bacteria cannot grow in there. So the bacteria that basically grow in your armpits are the reason why the sweat smells bad. So they're the reason of bad odor. So the reason we add baking soda is to increase the pH, because when the pH is high, bacteria cannot grow. So they stop growing and then they don't produce this bad odor. That's why we add baking soda. But the thing with baking soda is that it can be very harsh on the skin, and that's why we need magnesium hydroxide for sensitive skin types, because magnesium hydroxide is a very mild base, so it doesn't cause irritation. And the last ingredient, beeswax. I love beeswax. You mainly use it in skincare products other than soap, because in soap it doesn't really do much. It doesn't saponify well, so it's not very common to add it in soap. Unless you want these unsaponifiables on your skin, then you can add it in a very low concentration of 0.5 or 1%. But for other skincare ingredients like deodorant or lip balm, it adds this amazing structure and it binds everything together, and that's why we need beeswax. So now I'm going to talk about the 6 ingredients that you can get out of this. So you can make normal soap with only olive oil, coconut oil, shea butter and castor oil. You can make sensitive skin soap where you basically remove coconut oil completely, so you only use olive oil, castor oil and shea butter, or you can just use olive oil, 100% olive oil, if you want fully conditioning lather. But if you want a bit of creaminess, then you should add a bit of shea butter as well. Then you have shaving soap. Shaving soap, you need something that is very creamy, right? So you need to increase the concentration of shea butter, because that basically allows the perfect glide on your cheeks. Or your body. Then the 4th product is dish soap, where you want a very high concentration of coconut oil, 95 to 100%, because that really boosts bubbles and lather, which is exactly what you want to clean the dishes. This is not suitable for the skin because coconut oil can be very drying, especially in concentrations like 100%. The next product is deodorant, where you make it with a mix of shea butter, coconut oil, olive oil, beeswax, and then the active ingredients, which is baking soda or magnesium hydroxide, and then cornstarch or arrowroot powder to absorb the moisture. And product number 6 is lip balm. Lip balm is amazing. You make it with shea butter, coconut oil, olive oil and beeswax, and the consistency feels fantastic. If you want a free PDF that shows these 6 products and the 7 ingredients you can use to make these 6 products, then comment "I want the formulation" and I will send to you for free as soon as I see your comment.